Oh, hey, didn't see you there. But while I have your attention, why don't I tell you about my favorite book? But What If We're Wrong by Chuck Klosterman. It's not upside down. Here's the back cover. Thinking about the present as if it were the past. This is my favorite book. I've recommended it to the most amount of people. I've lent it out to the most amount of people. Actually, I just bought this copy because a friend of mine has my original copy. And I'm about to, after this video, lend this copy out to another friend. I just really love this book. I think it provides such great perspective. Chuck Klosterman is a rock music critic and pop culture writer, and he has a number of other books, but this one is definitely my favorite. He takes this really interesting idea of, thinking about the present as if it were the past. Because while we're living right now, we think everything in the world we're so certain about. But when we look at history over and over and over again, we're wrong. So in the book, he writes about a number of different things. Literature, science. He takes this idea of what will people 500 years from now think of rock music? And another interesting one is about the Constitution. And in the future, the downfall of the United States, could it potentially be the U.S. Constitution? This document that was written in the 1700s, and people, no matter what, just did not want to change it. And if you criticize the Constitution, you couldn't get any higher than an alderman level. Could that be our downfall? And so it's about placing ourselves in the future, looking back at today. The big puzzle piece that I took away from this book is that learning and understanding that by removing myself from the present, I can think clearer and with a more open mind. I'm just a man living life in the 21st century. The world existed before me, and it will exist after me. And I think a lot of times people, they become so consumed about the world right now, and they put so much pressure on themselves to be right and defending themselves all the time about their opinions. And when you remove your ego and you think with a larger perspective, life becomes a lot more enjoyable, and you're a lot more flexible, and you can just navigate life more clear. I'm certain that 100 years from now, people are going to think about our time and be like, what were they thinking? And so, but what if we're wrong? It just does a great job of providing a dose of humility, and it gets you to think differently about the world. Imagine what we could accomplish altogether if more people thought this way, by removing themselves from the present and thinking about it as if it were the past.